What is up? Welcome into the LFC Transfer Room. We got myself, Jack, Chris, and Matty for a late night UK stream. Talking about some center backs, talking about some vibes. Chris, you're eating some watermelon, drinking
Yeah,
some
bro.
wine. Very, very consistent themes there. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. Let us know in the chat. Is watermelon good or not? Because I'm losing 2-1 at the moment. So
Yeah. Matty, you're with me on the watermelon not good parade.
It's just a waste of chewing, like, because you're just chewing water. I'd rather save me chewing energy for something decent.
Exactly.
But I'm all right anyway. I mean, James Pearce ruined me day with all his bad news.
Yeah.
But
Let us know your thoughts on James Pearce being so negative on Twitter in terms of the news. Let us know your thoughts on watermelon. And on the actual topic of today's stream is center backs. A couple days ago, last week, we did a stream on predicted lineups. So that had predicted center backs. But now we're kind of talking about the general center back group. James Pearce, not too long ago, tweeting that Liverpool are deciding not to buy Ozan Kabak for £8.5 million because they're happy with their center back group. Chris, you seem a little upset in between bites of watermelon. Your thoughts on not signing Kabak? Let's hear your thoughts. Would you have signed Kabak for £8.5 million in the comments? And Chris, would you have?
who wouldn't have signed Ozan Kabak for 8.5 million? It just defies logic because you could sign him for that and then sell him on. Surely you could make so much more money out of it. Don't even talk to me about it. Like, I think the only thing that I think is stopping it is homegrown stuff or just Liverpool being stingy. But yeah, it's a shame. It is a real shame, isn't it? 8.5 million. 8.5 million.
Is it even like stingy, or is it bad business? It's rare we say that with Liverpool. Is it bad business signing Kabak for 8.5? Matty?
no, because in January everyone was moaning that we didn't go and spend big money on a centre back, and I think Konate was the long term solution. So this summer we've went and spent 30-odd million on Konate. So here's the long term solution, and Kabak, who came in to cover for 6 months, is no longer needed. Would I spend £8.5 million on him? Yeah, definitely. But then he's taken up a foreign player slot within the squad, and then if we bought him and don't go and get like a decent attacker, people would be like, well, why not? And it's probably because Kabak would be taking up that homegrown spot. So I think if we could have got Konate in January, Kabak wouldn't have even came anyway. So it's basically Konate was the long-term replacement. So why go and waste money on someone you don't need?
To be fair on the homegrown thing, Adrian's taking up a slot, by the way.
Okay,
yeah, but you do need backup keepers. Alisson hasn't got the best injury record.
You need backup centre backs as well, mate.
Yeah, we've got Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, Matip. There's 4 before you even go into the kids. I don't think we'll ever have a season like we've had last year because that was just a freak season.
Or is it almost like not learning a lesson if we don't reinforce? I mean, so I think that the top tier, the center backs, is a very interesting debate as opposed to what it used to be when it was pretty much just Van Dijk, Gomez, when everyone's fit, easy choice. Now it's like Van Dijk is, I mean, not starting Van Dijk, I would question Jurgen Klopp's mental stability. And then you could make an argument for Matip, Gomez, or Konate when they're fit. I
think it'll be Konate. He's a man. I didn't realise how big he was until I've seen these training pictures. He is an absolute unit. I think it's him and Van Dijk starting, to be honest with you. I know Gomez, Van Dijk and Konate have all started the pre-season from day one. They're in Austria for 4 weeks. But I can just see...
Matip as well.
Yeah, but he'll probably be injured in 4 weeks. So I can see it be Konate.
When everyone's fit, I almost agree with Lewis that I think Matip is our best center back beyond Van Dijk when fit.
Yeah, he's when everyone's around. In the world. Yeah, he is. But it's just he's fit now. But back come Norwich first game of the season, will Joel Matip be fit? Or come 90 minutes at Carrow Road, will Joel Matip still be fit? So I think Konate is more of a sustainable option.
So the way I look at Matip is, say he's fit for 12 out of the 38 games this season, which is a bit less than 1/3 of them. Does he not start all 12 of those games?
Probably, yeah, because I think we'll probably attack on all fronts. It'll be nice to win the FA Cup. It's the only one Henderson hasn't won. If he wins that, he's won absolutely everything there is to win in English football. So don't forget, if we went the distance in all competitions, you're playing close to 90 games in the season, so we are going to need to rotate
maybe
the
not
squad.
90, maybe more like 65. But
That's like 3 Premier League seasons.
No, I'm sure
You got like 12.
United played 65 this year, and they played Europa League and got to the close. So
true. So it's like 65, yeah.
Mid 60s.
That's still like mental. That's still a mental amount of games to be playing.
That's not even a year period. It's in what, 8 months? Is it 8, 9 months?
Yeah, 9 months ish. Yeah, and so then you're looking at playing a game every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, so we're going to need the options.
Look, I mean, I think Dan makes some good points here. Both on Kabak, I think loves the club, and I think he would love to sign. And there's a big emotional part for me where I think logically, as good as a transfer as it would be, I don't think we need him. I don't think we really need him. And yeah, it would be nice to just have him because it's great value. I mean, $8.5 million for Kabak, you get 4 times that next summer. And like, yeah, it's good on paper, but he needs to play games to increase that value. So I understand that the move not happening. Joe Gomez at right back is something that I am very, very interested to hear you guys about.
I'm all for it. All for it, Jack. I said it to him. I said it on a stream a few days ago to Chris because he loves Nico Williams. But Joe Gomez was brought in as a right back. I think he would have been a right back if Trent wasn't so good. So he could cover that. He's not going to get as many minutes in the centre half.
Chris.
Nico Williams isn't good enough for Liverpool.
Boys, listen. Joe Gomez played right back at 17-18 and was tremendously shit. Okay.
Like Nico.
Maybe, right? But Joe Gomez is a world-class centre-back. Why would we waste him at right back?
Because I don't think Liverpool spend close to £40 million on someone when he doesn't start.
No, obviously, but then you've got lots of, we need 4 options at centre-back. So I just think Gomez would be, yes, and maybe as like 3rd choice behind Nico even. Or even as like a defensive option, maybe in a big game. But even then, he played poorly in 17-18 when he played there. And everyone knew he was a centre-back, and that's why we had made such strides in 18-19 with him there. And last season, 19-20, whenever, when he was available. He is and has the potential still, because he's years behind in his development, to be a world-class centre-back. So, I can never see him as a full-time right-back cover. Maybe as an emergency right-back cover, like Milner, for example.
I think he's going to be the senior centre-back in the second-string team for cup games and stuff. Like he will be the Van Dijk in cup games, Joe Gomez.
Really? Is he relegated to that?
I think Canate starts with Van Dijk, so Gomez will be in that second-choice team, wouldn't he? Because Liverpool aren't spending £40 million on a player, and he's going to play the FA Cup. He's not. I
agree with you, but I think we look back.
But we also paid $40 million for Fabinho, and he didn't play till November.
That's what I was going to say. Is Fabinho, Robertson? How much time it takes these guys to gel in?
Monaco's system to Leipzig that was very, very, very similar to Liverpool. Canate is coming into a system that he has played in Germany for how many years?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good transition for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he favors Gomez Matip for the first half dozen games before Canate starts to get in. Even if Canate is performing better in training, I think Klopp just wants more time before he trusts them to play. And I think one last thing on the Kabak front, this makes sense in my eyes, that it's a bit like the Adrian issue, where why would you have a foreign spot taking up when he's not like one of your depth options and one of your first choice ones? I think this makes sense for Kabak, but we also had a very, very eager someone to get Adrian out. Very first.
Come on, Farouk, man.
We've got to get rid of Karius first, man. Got to get rid of that.
And this is a center back debate, but real quick, Karius or Adrian?
None of them.
Yeah.
Painfully, I'd have to be Adrian. Like I really, really dislike Karius. So
yeah, man.
I don't understand that. Look, I just think.
No, listen to me, right? Karius is a much better goalkeeper. Adrian doesn't have a mental scar of playing for Liverpool. He just doesn't care. I admire him for that. Karius is a much, much better goalkeeper. But I'd much rather have Adrian.
I'll never forget the pre-season after the Kiev defeat. Liverpool were playing, I think it was Tranmere or Bury, and I went down for it was a pre-season game, and the Karius was terrible in the warm-up. Terrible. So I don't think that man can ever play for Liverpool. And look, he couldn't even get a game for Union Berlin. I think it's massively ruined him. That finals ruined him. I don't think he'll ever be that again.
And it's cruel. It's cruel because he had potential as well. He was still young, and he still is young for a goalkeeper. So hopefully, I really hope for him that he can rebuild a career, but he just needs to go, man. It just needs to go.
I think a fresh start would be good for Karius, wouldn't it? Adrian is just so shameless. Like, he just does not like. It's not that he doesn't care.
It's so funny.
His mentality is pretty strong, actually.
I think Adrian's took the Andy Lonergan role this year, though, myself, because Kelleher's number 2. So Adrian's not going to play a game. It's going to be a very, very rare he gets a game for the Brewers.
No, don't say that, Matty. Don't say that. We're going to have him as the first choice, and it's going to be what? What's the Davies? Who's the
Pitaluga.
Yeah, Pitaluga, something like that.
Pitaluga's meant to be of high potential, though. So if he gets a game in like the League Cup or something, I wouldn't argue that. I want to see him.
This is what I was just about to say. I was like, this man, I admire his shithousery because he had very, very limited contribution to all of them. Yes, he saved the penalties in the Super Cup, fair enough, but he also gave away one in the game. So
yeah. No, I think Adrian played his part in us winning the league. He was good cover for Alisson for that. I don't know how many games it was.
You also have to look at their career trajectory. Adrian has been a backup for a lot of his career. He played a lot at West Ham, yeah, but he knows how to be a backup. Versus Karius, he was what is it, Colne that we signed him from, and then he was our number 1. So he was the number 1 guy. So there's a different mentality for being the goalkeeper week in, week out.
He's just too bothered about what he looks like, Karius.
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Listen, I don't come on. That's the what got leveled at me the other day.
No, if you go and look at his Instagram, you wouldn't guess he's a professional footballer, and I just don't like focus on football, mate, instead of taking selfies in the mirror with no top on. You know what I mean?
Karius' first months at Liverpool was awful as well. That's why he got dropped for Mignolet. So
I'm not saying he's good cover for Alisson because we've got Kelleher. He's not even going to play. That's what I've just said. Adrian's not even going to play. I don't want to see Karius. Karius for me knew there was a problem. He had concussion. He knew there was a problem and chose to stay on in a Champions League final, and I watched my club crumble because of him in a Champions League final. That Benzema shot. After that, don't want to see the Liverpool badge on his chest again.
I mean, was it a shot? I don't think it was a shot. It was
whatever it was. He was awful.
It was his limb being in the way of the ball from rolling.
Can we stop talking about it? I'm getting PTSD.
With Adrian, no, he's never ever gonna play ever because Kelleher's second choice, so he's gonna play the cup games. To touch all the wood you need, but I honestly don't think Adrian will play. I think he's took the Andy Lonergan role where, at the end of the day, we've been in a lot of professional environments. So we had Andy Lonergan when we won the league, providing that like older head in the dressing room. So it's good to have.
Yeah. Back to the people in front of the goalkeeper. 3 at the back is a concept I've always thought about, and it would give exactly this: Trent and Robertson more freedom. I know, Matty, you hate it. You think it's negative football. I know Klopp hates the 3-5-2, but think about it, right?
No.
The way we play right now isn't too dissimilar to a 3-4-3. Fabinho kind of drops back. You have the fullbacks pushing up high. So it's the shape is very similar.
No, it's not.
No, it's not FIFA. It's real life.
3 at the back. The last time 3 at the back happened at Liverpool was when we were really, really poor.
It's the most negative football I've ever watched in my life. England at the Euros were terrible. Like in that Europa final where Italy get in, when they won, England were terrible. From the minute they scored, really, they were crap. They were 3 at the back. It's negative football. Like, but they'll try and score a goal. But we haven't got Big Sam as the manager. We've got Jurgen Klopp. We're not playing 3 at the back. Not a chance.
But to be fair, though, some like exciting teams play 3 at the back, and fair enough. But like Conte's Chelsea, but they were very, very built on defence first, and then we're going forward. But then it just won't work with Liverpool, man. It's not for me either. Yeah. I'm gonna shut down entire conversations.
Look, I think it's definitely
and sorry, why would we need an extra centre back when we've got Virgil van Dijk? Why do you need to waste another centre back when you can?
I seen a picture in training the other day of Van Dijk next to Canate, and no one getting past that. They're both absolute units.
I know.
Units.
I am excited to see them. You know, I think this taste for 3 at the back is Makes sense. I mean, I understand it, but I think it's Chris, are you talking about that Sheffield United match? When we talking about the last time we played 3 at the back? Because didn't we play? We beat Sheffield United to end that run this season, and Trent was kind of a right center back, and Robertson was a bit more advanced.
Yeah. And I was mainly talking about under Brendan Rodgers, but yeah, that was just a switch during the game, and we needed to try things out then because we were going through a bad time.
Man, that's pretty recent too. That was bad. Look, I think it'd be interesting. Trent as a right center back, range of passing.
No.
Stop moving players who don't need to be moved. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold will end his career as probably the greatest right back to ever play the game of football. Why move him? Don't understand it. Doesn't need to be right centre back. Doesn't need to be midfield. Needs to be right back. Where he is, stays where he is. Fantastic. We've got De Bruyne at right back. No other team in the world's got that.
Absolutely.
It's a very good point, actually. I'm Matty there. We were built on defense, but it was, I think, what was so impressive about our defensive ability was that we were still able to create so much going forward. We were not relying on numbers at the back. It was a great shape at the back.
I think people need to understand that last season, Liverpool didn't have a pre-season either, and Jurgen Klopp's football is so heavily based on pre-season and building the fitness and the minutes up in pre-season. They're in Austria for 4 weeks now, and then they're probably going to come back, and I think they've got a game against Rangers, which is being rumoured at Anfield. So they've got a good 4-5 week pre-season now where they're just going to hammer training, fitness, lactate tests, you name it, they're going to do it. So I think Liverpool are going to come back into this season fresh. I think last season, all the tragedy that's happened with, even with like Alisson and stuff like that, I honestly believe Liverpool walk the league next year with a pre-season behind us and fans back in.
I think people underrate the impact of preseason. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from Manchester United has been talking about their lack of preseason up until their Europa League final. I mean, the knock-on effect it has all the way to the end of the season is why, I mean, I don't want to say that it was bad football for some teams during the Euros, but I do worry about the quality at times because of how run down some players are. But anyways, this is a completely different discussion. Kind of back to the original, I guess, point, center backs. Is Van Dijk, I mean, we can't really guess, but should Van Dijk be starting week 1 against Norwich?
I think Van Dijk's been ready since before the season finished, to be honest with you. Whenever there was bad news, Everton fans used to get mocked for the stadium whenever there was bad news. Whenever we got bad news, there was a video of Van Dijk running. So I think he's been ready, and we just didn't chance him because we probably knew we were going to get top 4 and just give him a bit more time off and go into the pre-season. I think Van Dijk's ready. Week 1, he's back.
I don't know if I completely agree with that because that's a ballsy call to not play.
He's in team training now, and the first game of the season is in a month.
That if he needed to be forced back before the end of last season, he would have been. But it was only fair on his health and how he is, then that he will be fit. But yeah, I'm almost certain he'll start. And why wouldn't he?
I wouldn't be stunned if this is the lineup week 1. Matip, Konate. It'd be weird without Van Dijk, but I imagine that it might be a bit more of a gradual introduction than people are expecting.
I think Van Dijk, if he doesn't play Norwich, he 100% plays Burnley because that's the first home game of the season. Van Dijk he will be there. And let's not forget as well, Jordan Henderson's probably not going to be there for the first game of the season, so Van Dijk's going to be our skipper. So he probably is
unless Milner plays.
True, but if Milner doesn't play, then who is it going to be? Because Gini's got.
Maybe
So Milner, what used to be the vice captain, correct?
Milner's
vice captain, yeah. But I think it's going to be Virgil more or less.
Yeah.
Vice captain this year. I think he'll probably get more. I think Virgil will probably play more games than Henderson, so he probably will have to be the captain quite a few times this year.
Matty, you mentioned it earlier, but those are 2 human beings. Like they are going to be huge for us. I mean, let's talk about the knock-on effect for the entire squad. I mean, Trent was not nearly as productive as he was 2 seasons ago. Robertson the same. Are they getting back to that 2019, 2020 levels with Van Dijk back and other center backs hopefully back as well?
Yeah. I think Konate is going to learn a lot from Van Dijk as well. I think he's more like maybe a long-term Van Dijk replacement. See, Van Dijk's 30 now. I'm not saying he's going to be gone in a few seasons, but Canate's what, 22, 23? So in 5-6 years' time, I think Canate will be the most senior centre back in the club.
And what you've also got with Kanate, and what we have to bear in mind, is that he will make mistakes. Like he will make errors, and we can't be too impatient with him. But especially with the way that we play, he will be left exposed. But on to the other point, I mean, Trent and Robertson's stats last season were not bad. I think Trent got seven or eight assists, same with Robbo. So it's hardly season defining, you know. And Trent towards the back end of the season was our best player. So yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, looking at their stats, I'm pulling them up now on Transfer Market, which counts assists a bit differently. It was 12 assists for Robertson in 1920, 7 last season. And for Trent, it was 13, 1920, and 7 last season. So you go from 15 combined, or 25 combined, to 14 combined. So a serious drop-off.
I think that's to do with Van Dijk not playing now, because they couldn't be as express themselves as well as they wanted to, because they were having to help a lot more in defensive duties.
And the fact that I think we underperformed XG by about 12.
So by like 25, man. We overperformed our XG in 1920. Like, it was a surprise how well we did.
Yeah. So, like, people they're not finishing their chances. I can recall 3 or 4 blatant ones that people have missed from Trent and Robertson crosses. So,
yeah. So this is kind of, the center backs are kind of a knock on to the entire squad. So does the attack still need freshening up in terms of the top end? So either replacing or moving out a Mane or Firmino for a Jota or a signing, or is it a case of not enough like defensive cover, so the forwards were hurt as well? If that makes sense.
Are we not freshening up enough with Harvey Elliott? Doesn't he offer something?
That's an interesting question.
Doesn't he freshen it up? I know I quite like another one, but don't forget that Jota's getting the first another season under his belt. He's going to be even better than last year. And Mane, Salah, Firmino never get injured. That's all of that. But yeah, we got Jota. We'll have Taki back. Yes, he's not great at the moment. We've unfortunately got Origi still. But then Harvey Elliott comes in and throws something completely different in. And who knows what about Taiwo Awoniyi?
Hey, honestly, that's an interesting one.
I think Awoniyi and Minamino and Origi probably go, but I don't know who we buy. Doku's come out and said he's staying at Rennes for another season. Dakas went to Leicester. Mbappe said he's playing for Real Madrid. Who do we get? Like, what attacker is out there? I haven't seen us linked with many. It's Berardi. I don't want him. He is awful. If we're getting anyone from our Italy team, I want Chiesa. He's some player.
Yeah, but as I said in the group chat, I think there's more chance of them Liverpool signing me.
Yeah.
Yes, because
it'll never happen. He's only on his second year of his loan to Juve, exactly. So they still haven't even bought him yet. So it's impossible to buy him this summer. But he is one player. But Berardi, no thanks. But
it is an interesting debate who we should sign up front. I think Malen would make sense. But again,
can we stop talking about Malen? He's going to Dortmund.
But no. Did you see the quote from their director today? They haven't received an offer from anybody.
Yeah, but Liverpool won't do business with Mino Raiola.
He's also 1 to 10 on.
We won't do business with Mino Raiola.
He's also 1 to 10 on in the bookies. So,
I mean, the bookies.
He's the perfect Jadon Sancho replacement for Dortmund. They've got a good relationship with Mino Raiola because they've got Haaland there. It's probably his biggest star at the minute. Liverpool do not do business with Mino Raiola. So the minute you see us linked with anyone that says they're agents, Mino Raiola, or what's the other one? Is it
Jorge Mendes?
Yeah, Mendes. You just know that. In fact, even wasn't Kaiser's agent though, Mendes.
Don't think so.
Me personally, I hate the focus on agents. Like,
why?
End of the day, their job is to get the most money for their client. I not that I have respect for them, but it's like they're just doing their job for their client, and I'm always about empowering the players, so they get properly paid. So I hate the carte blanche. I don't know if that's the right word to say. Just hatred of Raiola players, because the reason why he's their agent is because they're good players.
Yeah, but also Liverpool for him to get a deal with Liverpool. Liverpool are wanting end game players rather than or players that are building up. Raiola's players that are building up will want to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's the thing, and I don't want to see Liverpool being treated as a stepping stone because it isn't.
I mean, I would say signing Raiola players is an indication that they're at their spot. They're at the end game.
Or is it? I don't know, man.
That's what I would say. Thanks for the kind words. I don't know how to say. Is it My Days? Is that your first name? I don't know if that's a name. Anyways,
I love you too, man.
Oh, I love you too, Chris.
And I don't love you, Jack.
No, that's quite harsh. We'll have a stream later this week talking more specifically on general rumors. So subscribe to us on YouTube for that. Follow us on Twitter if you want to catch it there. And like our Facebook page. I recently learned that you're supposed to like a Facebook page, not like follow a Facebook page. So like us on Facebook. And Facebook Hive, if there's anyone here. No, there's no one here on Facebook. Never mind. No,
there was a couple earlier.
Yeah, there was a couple earlier, but now I would be preaching to an empty crowd.
I like this.
That's another great point is in terms of
Adama Traore.
Behave, Chris.
Behave.
We don't need him.
Anyone who signed
Jota, I think, surprised everyone. I don't think anyone, because I know a lot of people when we signed Jota were like, "Why on earth are we buying him for 45 million when we could have got Werner?" And look,
that was a good choice. So
anyone we buy, I trust Klopp and Mickey Edwards.
I think that I'm going to sound like an idiot because I was just like, "Oh, I don't like judging players on agents." I think mentality and personality is huge. Like if you're a nice guy, you're signed by Liverpool. Like if you're a bit of a dick, I don't think you're gonna be signed by Liverpool. Because you think about every player we've signed, like Thiago is probably our biggest signing in recent years. And he's a great dude. Like he loves the city of Liverpool. He's a tremendous teammate. He's a tremendous competitor. And even though he's a very technical player and he could be the stereotypical egotistical footballer, he's not. So I don't know.
I love this. Yeah, but he can run fast and puts baby oil on. Come on.
No,
you actually know why he does that? Because he constantly dislocated his shoulder because the guy's grabbing him. So he had to put baby oil on so they couldn't grab him and dislocate his shoulder. He dislocated it like 5 or 6 times in one season. So
the only player from that team I'd go for myself.
Ruben Neves.
Not Pedro Neto?
No, Ruben Neves.
Neto.
We got the best of Pedro 3. Not Conor Cody. No, he's only playing a back 5, and that isn't happening in Liverpool football. But I think with Neto, I think we got the better out of Jota and Neto. I think we got the better option. I think Pedro Neto is good, but I don't think he's world class. Whereas Ruben Neves, I think he is unbelievable and got the potential to be world class under Jurgen Klopp.
So I actually have a quick question. This is a funny comment. I want to bring it up. So Matty, I'm going to pose this to you. Finish second, lead the league in goals scored, not playing a back 5. Win the title, score like 50 goals, but you're playing a back 5, pretty negative football. Which are you taking?
I'd say anything that means we win the league, to be honest with you, Jack. But I don't think, I think Jurgen Klopp would leave Liverpool Football Club before we play a back 5.
There was a comment earlier that said exactly the same thing. I'd love to pull it up, but that would take time for me to scroll. I don't want to do that. So as we wrap up the stream in the next few minutes.
Go and buy a Mickey Edwards today.
Hey, and you know what? On YouTube, playing in the background right now is LFC Transfer Room. Go check out our video on Pedro Gonçalves.
Unbelievable.
Barton of Proxima Jordana. Great interview, great insight on him as a player. So if you want to learn more about Gonçalves from a Liverpool perspective, that video is in the channel. So go subscribe to that. LFC Transfer Room on YouTube. Our predictions. This video has been about center backs very loosely. We've talked about a lot of different things. Who is going to be the center back duo or trio? It's a possibility for week 1 against Norwich. Let's put our bets in now. Chris, who are you going to? Are you going to be the same with what your predicted 11 was, or are you going to differ it up?
I'm going to go for our most successful partnership in recent years, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. Obviously, they're going to start because, they were so good last year. No, I'm joking. Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip.
Matty, who is your predicted center back duo for week 1?
Van Dijk and Canate, Man Mountains. all day.
I'm gonna steal one from each of you. I'm gonna say Matip and Canate. That's my center back duo. And Van Dijk plays in that Burnley match in the first home one.
I'm just like, what's the word? Where you're impatient to see Van Dijk. I'm impatient. I'm sick and tired of waiting now. Just want to see him back.
That's fair. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Craig, and thank you everyone for tuning into today's stream. Half-hour discussion on center backs and other things around Liverpool Football Club. Follow us on all our socials. We'll have streams.
Big video coming out on Friday.
Yes,
make sure you check it out.
One of our best produced videos, edited by Chris, hosted by Chris, features a lot of the guys from the channel. Very good one. It's gonna be 1,000 subscriber special, so go subscribe to the channel and put notifications on. The notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos. But thank you everyone for tuning into today's stream. For myself, Jack, for Chris, and for Matty, this has been a stream from the LFC Transfer Room. Have a good